All right, we're at Port Clinton. This is where we're going to start off our trip. We're just right off of Route 61 here in Port Clinton. And we are going to connect onto the Appalachian Trail from here and going towards the Pinnacle Loop. And then we are going to hike up that. Into the woods we go. From here, there's our car. And here we go. From here, we're gonna hike down to the bottom and then connect onto the Appalachian Trail. All right, from the parking lot, that's what we gotta do, climb down that thing. Cool, we're on the trail now. So we just got on the trail from our parking lot. This trail will take us underneath the bridge of Route 61. And then from there, that's when the fun part began. We're gonna have to hike up probably elevation, I think it's 1,200 feet, I think, if I'm not mistaken. 22, 23 degrees incline for a good mile and a half, 2 miles. And is leading the way, followed by Kate and the kids. And we got Mr. Jung back there coming along. So we are approaching the under the Route 61 bridge. And there's the trail. Appalachian, yeah, we follow the white. AT. Probably about 0.6 of a mile in to our Appalachian Trail hike. This is probably the toughest section of our trip until we get to the Pinnacle loop. But this is I think it's about a mile and a half, 2 miles of just uphill climb like this. And with 50 pounds worth of gear on our bags, it's a bit challenging. But we're trying to grind through this section, and hopefully it will flatten it out a bit. But Route 66 is just down to my left where we parked. I wouldn't be surprised if where we parked is directly down there. But this is definitely a challenge for me. We got some switchback. Now it's starting to get rocky. 3/4 of a mile in already, fellas. We're probably halfway or almost halfway through this section. Let's get out of this section and take a break. So I'm not gonna lie, we're a mile in onto the trail, and I'm starting to feel it for sure. This bag is killing me. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit out of breath because we keep having to climb, and having this weight on my back is no joke. I'm not used to carrying all this gear. I'm packing, I'm carrying a 2-person tent for me and my son, 2 inflatable sleeping mats, a sleeping pad or a sleeping bag, water, food, And I have this 90-liter backpack. I think it's an overkill for our trip, but really it's the only large bag that I have that I could fit my stuff in. So I think, you know, because the bag is so big, the bag itself empty is probably 8-10 pounds already with the pads and straps and everything. So throwing all those extra weight on doesn't really help. And like I said, this is my first time doing this backpacking trip, and this trail is no joke. It's a long ways down. It's probably hard for you guys to tell, but it's a long ways down. We're hiking right along the ledge here. So a mile in, probably another mile of this incline. I think the grade of this incline is about anywhere from 15 to 23 degrees. So this might be a breeze for you, some people who are more advanced hiker, but for my first backpacking, this is a challenge for sure. We are 1.3 miles in.
9 miles to go.
Yeah, 9 miles to go. We'll break it up. Get to the 5 mile mark, and we'll stop for lunch where the AT trail meets up with the blue trail for the Pinnacle loop. I wish I would have known about the AT trail when I was younger. I think I would attempt it. I don't know if I would be able to do the whole thing from Georgia to Maine, but I would have loved to attempt it. But now that I'm older with responsibilities and I can't just take off for 2-3 months to hike, but I think that would be an awesome experience, and props to all those who have done it or is doing it, because that's really a huge milestone accomplishment to say that you've done something like that. And not to mention the great experience of seeing America in its natural state and meeting all the cool people along the trail. So we're climbing again. We are a little bit 1.52 miles in, and we're climbing again. I feel like we're getting close. We're getting close to the peak. So once we get to the peak, we can have a little break and remove this 50-pound bag of mine off. And Caden, the kids, the trooper, his bag is probably like 40 pounds too. And he's pounding through with a twisted ankle. He hurt his ankle 2 weeks ago when we did the Hickory Run trail. That had a lot of rocks. Whew. More climbing. More climbing.
More rocks.
Oh, more rocks? Oh, lots of rocks. Oh. Oh, I think this is close to the peak now. Oh yeah. So the trail went from that to now very rocky. Yeah. This is the rocky trails that we're going through. And then it just rained. So leaves, rocks are slippery. So it's been an hour and 20 minutes or so since we started our hike. All right, so it looks like the trail is clearing up just where the bright sun is hitting, hopefully. Yeah, because scrambling through the rocks, that was tough. So good, it's clearing up here. Still a little incline, but at least we're not scrambling around those jaggedy rocks. I'm still waiting for this trail to flatten out. I was hoping it would be flattened out by now once it's 2 miles in. So we are about 2.3 miles in, and it looks like the trail flattened up a bit. At least we're not climbing anymore. 2.6 miles in. Trails finally flatten out a little bit. So we're just gonna walk a little bit, and hopefully there's a spot that it clears out that we could take a break. Plan is now is to hike a little bit more to see if we can find like a section where there are like a little camp or something that would say we can take a break, get the bags off of our shoulders. I think the trail wouldn't be so challenging if I didn't have like 50 pounds on my shoulder. And it's not so much the weight that bothers me, but it's more of the sore feeling that I have on my shoulder. I try to adjust my bag, the strap, to try to distribute the weight onto my hip, but I still feel a lot of weight on my shoulder. So, and that I think is what bothers me the most. All right, so this is just off the trail, 3.17 miles in. Let's stop here for a little break. We just got done lunch at that campsite right in there, right off the path here. So off we go. Now let's just try to get off of this trail another 2.5, 3 miles or so until we hit the Pinnacle loop. And then we can take another big break there. Just had my Wawa hoagie. Yeah. So that was yummy, and that helped distribute the weight, probably half a pound from my bag into my belly. And then Kate and the kid ate the other half. We shared a hoagie. So I feel a lot better now. felt great not having the backpack on our shoulder, but we're back at it again, and as soon as I put it on, boom, the pain, but here we are, powering through. All right, we're sitting on this big rock, waiting for June to come up. And now that we started another ascent after lunch. Is that him? Oh yeah, because there's someone else behind him too. And I think here he comes. Oh, you can see him. There he comes. Made it. All right. You can't really see it, but this is a climb. After lunch, it's probably a good 15-20 degrees incline here, although it might not look like that in the video. In our little break here, we are 4.2 miles in. We probably have like another 1.2 miles until we get to the Pinnacle loop. We're back at it. 4.4 miles in. Trails look like it's flattening out a little bit. So now it's trying to push ourselves another mile or so to get to the Pinnacle loop. All right, so we made it out through there. So
this is Port Clinton, 5.9 miles.
5.9?
Yeah. And then Pulpit Rock is only 1.7. The Pinnacle is only 4 miles.
4 miles, yeah, 4 miles.
And then if you want to get the main, it's 965
Yeah.
miles.
Yep, that's the end of the trail there. That's the end of the trail. So yeah.
And then and it's 1,200 miles. 1,200 miles from the start.
Yep. Wow. Yep. Here comes Jung through the trail. Right here.
Oh yeah, that
Right there, down there.
We did reach it. So this is the shelter.
Okay.
Because like the fork actually starts back here.
Okay.
So this is that water source. This is the furnace.
Oh, okay. We're here, kind of. It's just up there. That's where the shelter is.
Yeah.
Let me see what the sign says. Oh yeah, here's the trail map.
Water supply.
Yep. You are here, so.
So we're
Alright,
just right there.
Yeah, we were on this trail here. We were here. We came through here.
Where's the shortcut home?
So, but it looks like we have to come down this way to catch that trail, right?
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
is where we would follow
Right. But where did you say the
the shelter.
the shelter?
So that's the shelter, the Windsor furnace. So I don't know if
Down there?
the furnace shelter is down there or if it's.
Well, there's another sign down there. You want to go down there and check it out?
Yeah.
Wait, so where were we before?
Because if this is the
We went the wrong way a little bit. So we came out from there, and then you're supposed to just go and cross over this bridge, but we went down this way. So that's heading towards the parking lot, which we don't want to go. We want to connect onto the Pinnacle loop, and so we got to go towards the right. Right, so we are on Pinnacle loop. We are going counterclockwise. Right now what we're trying to do is make our ways to I guess furnace shelter, and then we're gonna take a little lunch break and get some water, reload on water. So here we are, made it to the shelter. It's pretty big. There's a lot of like camp area all over. So 1:40, got to the shelter. This is just the beginning of the Pinnacle Loop. We probably have what, 4 miles, 5 miles? 4 or 5 miles
To the loop. I mean to the Pinnacle.
to the Pinnacle. Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna try to make it there and camp.
It's only 2 miles.
4 miles. I'm surprised no one's here. Oh, actually, because it's early during the day.
Yeah.
People aren't stopping here yet.
Right around 5,
Yeah.
4 or 5 o'clock.
Came in over there earlier to take a break, but it's 3 o'clock now. So plans kind of changed a little bit because Kevin ankle is bothering him, so we came through that way off of the Pinnacle Trail. And then so now we decided that we are going to stay here and camp out here. All clean out. We're gonna get ready to hike back to the car today. All right, we are heading out to the water source. We'll meet Jung there, heading out to the water source to filter some water, and then we'll be on our way. All right, so we're getting out of our camp. This trail will lead you to the Pinnacle Loop. This leads you back to the parking. We came in that double blade there. We just went left. That's where the campsite that we stayed. Unfortunately, we couldn't take the Pinnacle Loop last night because friend Jung, Kevin, hurt his ankle and it's swollen. So he's actually going to hike out and just stay in the parking lot and wait for us to hike back to Port Clinton to get our car, and then we will come and pick him up once we get to Port Clinton. So we had a little change of plan. Unfortunately, we couldn't do the complete route that we set out to do, but we made the most of it. There's that's Kate and the kids up there. He did awesome. I mean, he had a full load of gear, as you can see, and with a bad ankle as well. He's actually wearing an ankle brace. We went for a hike last week, or no, 2 weekends ago, and he twisted his ankle on a rock trail. So he's actually wearing an ankle brace, and he's been hiking too. So he's a trooper as well. So we're gonna get out to the creek, like I said, fill up our water for our hike back to Port Clinton, which is from here is about 6 miles, because we're probably about half a mile or so into the Pinnacle Loop, and then from there to Port Clinton is going to be I think like 5.4 miles, so it's going to be roughly 6 miles total. Okay, so we're at the creek at the beginning of the Pinnacle Loop, and so we're gonna get some water here. way out now. Hey, good morning. There's people. We gotta head up towards that way there. That's where the Appalachian trails that we came through yesterday. But now we gotta take on this trail out to the parking lot so that we can get Kevin settled, and then we'll have to hike back and connect onto the Appalachian Trail and get back to Port Clinton.
Water, you got food? All right.
Okay, all right, man. We'll see you.
All right, man. We'll
Yeah.
see you in a few hours.
Yep. All right, so the Pinnacle parking lot, we just dropped Jung off. He's gonna hang out there for a little bit, and here we go. So this is the entrance to the Pinnacle Loop. All right, we are connecting on to the AT trailhead now, back to Port Clinton from where we came in, up here towards the left from our campsite out to Pinnacle parking, and now back here it has been I know you guys can see it, 1.7 miles already. So we just added 1.7 miles to our hike. So this is the start of the AT trail back to Port Clinton. A mile in onto the AT trail here. I wore the wrong shirt. I'm wearing this black nylon shirt that I wore yesterday initially, that I was burning up because it's not really a breathable material. So, but yesterday I had a spare shirt to change out of, and now we left some of our gear with Kevin earlier, including any spare clothes that I have. So no choice but to wear this shirt for the whole way. Starting our ascent up about 500 feet for the next 1 to 1.25 mile. This is the steepest climb in our trail section for today, because there are 2 other ascent that aren't as steep. So this will be the most challenging section of our hike for today. The rest then are downhill. So we just gotta get through this and we should be good. Got a little switchback area here. We are taking a little break midway up this steep incline here. It's no joke. I don't know if you guys can, probably can't see it well, but it goes all the way down there. It actually doesn't look steep, but it's pretty steep. So a little bit more grind. 2 miles in onto the trail now. It's 10:19. So we've been on the trail for probably the AT trail, that is, for probably about an hour or a little bit more, probably an hour. And we've done close to 2 miles already. So I think we're making really good time getting through here. Trails flatten out a bit, which is nice, but we should be expecting it to go down a little bit and then come back up for a smaller incline. But I think the worst incline was done already, which is nice, because I am still burning up from wearing this nylon shirt, even though we're in the shade for most of the time, but I'm still burning up. It's a good descent. We're going downhill a little bit, but all that means is eventually we have to come uphill. We are going to try to find a spot that we stopped for lunch yesterday with the benches. Should be to the left somewhere, and stop there for a snack. All right, we are probably about 2.3 miles in. Got done the flat spot. Now here's the second climb of this section. It doesn't look like it's as bad as the first climb that we did initially, when it was like a half a mile in. Yeah, we'll do a little snack here. Hey, I think these were the people that camped with us. Hi there. Oh, cool. I think you guys camped with us last night, right above us, I think. Yeah, at the shelter, right? No?
You were the group, like...
Yeah, way back there, yeah. The noisy one.
You know, you guys, we thought you were going to be up a lot later, so you
Oh,
were
yeah?
Oh.
Stopping in here for a little break. This is where we stopped yesterday when we came up from Port Clinton too. They have like these benches that were built, so this was nice. Just got done our little break. Now let's push on for another, how far did you say it was? 2.8 miles?
Yeah.
2.8 miles to Port Clinton. We're in this little ditch up the mountain, and we got to climb up a little bit, but then it's mostly a steep downhill, but it's going to be rocky. All right, this is our last mini climb up. And once we get to the top, it's going to be rocky, and then a steep descent down the whole way. But down by the creek there, we almost got lost. We went straight a little bit, not paying attention, and got off sidetracked off the trail a little bit. So good thing Min took note. So we are a little bit over 3 miles into the trail, and we just climb up the last stretch of the trail, and it's starting to flat out. So hopefully the rest of the way would be just a descent down some rocks and boulders. So at this point, we are probably 3.5 miles in. I have here 5.25 miles, but minus the 1.7 miles that we hiked out from, I guess, our campsite into the parking lot where we left Kevin, and then from the parking lot to the trailhead. So we're We're about 3.5 miles into the AT trail. So at this point, probably a little bit over 2 miles left to Port Clinton. Rocks and more rocks. Oh, we're almost done with the rocks though, I think. Is that the end of it there? Yeah, nice. All right, we got through the rock section. Give you guys a shot back of Rockavania here. How far are we away?
We are about a mile and a half.
Mile and a half. Take a little break. We're about a mile and a half away from Port Clinton. Not too bad. And it is, what time it is? It is 11:48. So we started out about 9:10, 9:20. I can't remember exactly. So that may give us 2 hours and 30 minutes or so. 2 hours and 30 minutes so far. So it is noontime, exactly at noon. At this point, we have done 5.3 miles into the Appalachian Trail. We've done a total of 6.4 miles so far from our campsite. Now it's a little rocky, slight incline, but then I think this should drop us down into Route 66 area where we parked at Port Clinton. So I think we're almost there. The last section here, we're probably like a quarter mile or a half a mile from Port Clinton. We've done over 5 miles of the AT trail, starting from the Pinnacle Loop. A total of, see here, 6.89 miles from our campsite, but a little bit over 5 miles on the AT so far. I hear the road down there, so that means we are pretty close to the highway, which would most likely be Route 61. Oh yeah, I remember this section where we have to traverse back. Yeah, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We hang a left here because I remember the first section when we started, a half a mile in, I just rested right down to the left here because I was so hot and I had to take my shirt off. So yeah, directly down there is Route 61 and where we parked. We are descending, I think, on the last section of this AT trail here, going down, and we are going to come across, I think, what is it called? Mountain Avenue, I believe it is, and then cross Mountain Avenue, go underneath the highway bridge, which is Route 66, or sorry, Route 61, we'll go under the highway to Route 61, and then we'll walk along the Schuylkill River and back up to our car. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yes. Yep, and we were up there somewhere up there. Made it back. All right, total mile that we did from camp is 7.91 miles. But the Appalachian Trail itself is probably like 5.4, but we had to do back and forth at camp. But yes, we're in the car. It is 12:45. We improved by, 45 minutes from yesterday. So now let's go grab some lunch, and then we gotta go and grab Kevin back up at the Pinnacle Trail. We're here at Five Guys, just right down the street.